The following podcast is dedicated to sonic excellence.
Harry had a little man.
Fun with sound.
Donk. Hello and welcome to the Pop Donk Podcast, a beginner's guide to sound design. Come on, let's have some fun.
Rolling on episode 9, Pwink. Let's talk about compression.
This is Parp Donk, and we still have our very special guest joining us via Source Connect, Dave Derr of Empirical Labs.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Let's resume our conversation right now.
I remember the AES show where I first saw a Distressor.
Yeah.
We started at square one with EQ. Maybe we can do the same with compression. What's a compressor and what's compression?
My family, when I first told them I'm making an audio compressor, my family was like, "You mean it pumps water and fills your tires?" Right. I said, "No, this is an audio compressor. There's a couple names for it." And when I tried to tell them what it does, I said, imagine a little man in a box with a volume control in front of him. And basically when something's too loud, he grab that knob and turn it down. When it's too soft, he turn it up. Only this happens much faster than any human could do it. But that's the gist of it. It tries to control the level in a nice way to get a pretty even, nice sound. And that was the original use for radio.
I was just about to say, why would that be necessary?
Yeah. Well, in the studio, first of all, everybody has different level voices. Some people have a very loud, boomy voice. Some people have a very soft voice. So in the radio broadcast, they wanted to be able to at least get a consistent level so the intelligibility was there no matter who was talking. So that was its first use, basically just making things even out level and sound-wise in the studio. But very soon, people started to realize that things could fundamentally be changed. Sounds could fundamentally be changed by rapid and radical use of compression or limiting. An example is on drum sounds, for instance. When you use a lot of compression, the drums sound bigger. And then, of course, they started really screwing every signal up with tons of compression.
Yeah.
Right. But when the SSL console came out, there was a compressor on every channel. So suddenly you didn't have just two compressors in your studio. You had 32, right? So people started compressing the tambourine and triangles.
Why not?
Right. I've got it.
And people learned how to shape it with attack and release. The attack is how quickly it turns down signals. The release is how quickly it turns it back up. And people became really good at that. They used like you said, the SSL. I remember the first time I saw one, I said, "No, you've got a compressor and gate every channel EQ." And of course, you look at the size of it and the number of knobs and you believe it at that point. But it was, it became ubiquitous everywhere. You could literally, you wouldn't think of recording today without a compressor or limiter.
Right.
Especially on drums, you're right.
Because the medium up to the present, it has always had a limiting factor in terms of how much you can fit into, how that old commercial, how did they put those 8-grade tomatoes in that itty bitty can, With radio and with vinyl, your dynamic range, what the medium could handle
limited, right?
Was really limited compared to how much volume you can make in real world,
Yeah, and again, too, in our early recording mediums, you had to be loud as possible. And if you were just under clipping, you did good because you had a nice, loud, present signal that cut through. If you did not go up to the optimal maximum level, you would get noise and sound would suffer.
Nowadays, you just record it and then later bring it up,
Yeah.
but then it was like
a signal to noise, right?
Yeah, signal to noise ratio was
tape hiss, right?
Tape hiss, yep.
And again, compression it can never help that. If you add compression to something that got tape hiss on it,
That's bad.
in between the words and stuff, and when it releases and brings the level back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
What's that?
Yep.
Wait, what's that?
That's a jet going by.
Yeah.
Right, it's a sound effect that we decided to use on the track.
No, but it was.
Which brings us to one of the big elements of a compressor for me. It was makeup gain.
Yeah.
For the first 6 years I was an engineer, I think compression was my biggest challenge. And
it is.
And I really didn't understand it. So I would go up to the thing and start twiddling knobs until it sounded good to me. And half the time, when I look back on that, I'm sure half the time I was doing nothing to the sound
except making it louder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because can you explain the makeup gain?
Some compressors, most compressors do have output gain. But when you think of, like I said, the man in the box, when something got really loud, he turned that down. Now, if you make it turn down too far, the original level will actually be louder than the compressed level. So what the makeup gain allows you to do is to, after the compression has turned down a signal and trying to control it, the makeup gain allows you to bring it back up to a nominal overall level. And hopefully, the world will be a happy place with the levels that you set. Not too low, not too loud.
Right. Yeah, you're trying to match where you were beforehand,
right.
But now it's compressed, so it sounds bigger and fuller.
It's punchier.
Yeah. But every beginner, including myself, would just take that makeup gain and just make it louder and say, yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's your
louder's
natural
better, right?
instinct is to make everything louder.
Louder's
Absolutely.
better, right?
Oh, every day we deal with that here.
Yeah.
You say, that one sounds better. And then you go, if you get a fine level meter, you go, oh, it's just really 2 dB louder.
Yeah.
It's not better. It's just a little bit louder. And of course, that is one of the reasons compression is so popular, because even if the peak level, in other words, the maximum level is the same, it brings up everything else around that level. So it sounds louder to your ear, even though the peak level might be lower. So, yeah.
It is definitely one of those concepts that's hard to grasp, I think, for someone learning compression is one of the...
if I'm bringing everything down, how am I making things louder?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of like... I'm trying to think of an analogy. When you try to fill a box with, say, packing peanuts or something like that, you can fill the box, and if they're not squished down, you're not going to get as many peanuts in that box than if you try to put your hands on top and compress it downward and fit more peanuts in there. It's not a very good analogy.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I like it, Dave. I'm going to use that going forward.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, but if there's give and take, again, you do want to try to bring up the low level stuff so it's intelligible.
Right.
And now, again, we don't even worry about level matching, bringing a loud level. Now we use compression to radically change the sound.
Right.
Some of the first examples, and I always bring this up. In fact, we actually do demos where we emulate when the levee breaks.
I was going to say
Zeppelin,
that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Drum sound.
That is such a great example of compression on drums.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just think it's just a big room, but no, you got to do more than just a big room to get that sound.
Yeah.
It was that castle, right? With the
I think so.
LaGrange or something.
And the myth is that they were in the stairwell. They
Stairwell.
set the drums up in the stairwell, right? There was a circular staircase
exactly.
that went up, and they put the mic at the top, and then they just compressed the hell out of that mic.
Exactly. Yeah, and more compressors came out once that became popular, that sound.
Yeah.
And another example of a classic drum sound, the compression. What do you think? Just a quick question. What do you think is the most popular? You go out to a bar. What is the most popular drum fill that everyone plays on the bar when it comes up?
Oh, is that In the Air Tonight?
In the Air Tonight.
It's Phil Collins, yeah.
Yep. And it's a good call there.
I was going to say it even before you played it, but then you confirmed it for me.
No.
Wipeout, actually.
That's what you would play because you have extra adrenaline, maybe.
Well, that was another example, and that was a Stone room. Phil Collins was playing in the Stone room, and they compressed the hell out of it. And boy, is that... I have a video on my phone of the local bar I go to called Johnny's in Booton. And they put that song on. I said, "Oh boy, everybody's going to play this drum fill." I took my phone out and shot it at the bar, and I got a great video of that. Everybody at the bar going toot 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 toot.
That's awesome.
So, talk about a hook drum fill, right?
Yeah, and that was also a great demonstration of gates. Right, because they gated the reverb. That started the whole gated reverb on the snare thing.
Oh, remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
Real
You're
80s sound, right?
Yeah, I remember trying to figure that out. God, when I heard that, I was trying to figure that out, and I couldn't figure it out for anything. And I was working with another engineer. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, you just gate the reverb."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, because if you could time that with your attack and release.
Yeah.
Yep.
You could make it turn the signal down, and then let go somewhat before the next hit or beat, so that it didn't just sound like a filled-in reverb, which can become very messy.
Yeah, and then when they created the hold parameter,
the hold, which was
you take the gate and just put it on the right hold, and then just make it really quick. Attack really quick release. You just get
that.
That's like around the first digital reverbs too.
Yeah.
What would we have?
AMS.
The AMS.
AMS, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And we had the ART though too, right?
There was I don't know. MXR had a really early one. Yeah, that was like the poor man's AMS. The MXR.
Yeah.
A reverb or a gate?
It was a reverb.
Yeah.
Do you remember the model number?
It was like the MXR 01 or something like that. It was like crazy.
It's funny because I'm in the studio here and I'm actually looking at my reverbs. And we've got quite a few, including the AMS and Lexicon.
Lexicon's another classic.
Yeah, that was another one.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah,
the robot in the corner.
Yeah, with the sliders on that. Yeah. Sounds great though.
Oh, those were. Wasn't that a wild beast?
Yeah,
with a big.
Right?
It looked like you were shifting gears on the car.
It looked cool. Well, MXR 01. Karen just looked it up. 1990.
Oh, okay. I gotta look that
Karen.
up.
Rare 1980s digital rack reverb unit.
Rare 1980s. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a big MXR fan. I've got a lot of their gear sitting around too.
A lot of their pedals,
Yeah, but it's funny how technology comes back. Something that was put out 40 years ago now, people are trying to get that sound with new gear.
Yep.
And it's very interesting because again, there's a lot of that stuff was by accident. Just like we were saying with the Led Zeppelin drum sound.
Yep.
They put a compressor on there probably just to level it, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, add more of that," by accident. And then nowadays people are trying to grab those vintage sounds. So
it's like the movies; they just keep remaking them. It's like, can we ever just move on and create a whole new?
I know. Do we need another Titanic movie?
Well, that we might need actually.
Do we need another LA2A clone?
Yeah, exactly. But it's just very interesting. And again, it says a lot about the original designers of those things that they
got it right.
They had created something that even they didn't understand the potential for. So.
And now, a word from Parpdonk.
Ask your doctor if Parpitol is right for you.
Parpitol may cause bloody stools, halitosis, anxiety, depression, feelings of joy, 10-hour erections, political party shifts, sudden cravings to purchase garden gnomes, vagina nut, hibernation, migration, dog itch, fascination with gingham, and a strong urge to listen to the Parpdonk podcast. Use only as directed.
Now I'm me again. Thanks, Parpitol.
Which brings us to
what do we got next, Amanda?
Right, I'm going off my notes here. And forgive me if this is backtracking a little bit, but do we want to talk about saturation at all, like the term and how it relates to all this?
I think it's a great subject because, I believe at this time, every single one of our products, that's a part of the sound, it's basically distorts in a nice way, hopefully. Distortion was...
Yeah, explain that.
If you take a look at a waveform, basically saturation flattens the tops and bottoms so that if you had something that, say, swung up 10 volts and then down 10 volts below ground, what saturation will do, it would say, okay, you can no longer go above 7 volts up and 7 volts down. So if you just clamp that without a compressor or someone riding the volume, that is saturation or distortion. You're basically just stopping the signal from going any higher or lower. And again, in the guitar world, that's really a big part of the sound because it's a form of gain control or gain reduction or compression, only it's instant. There's no time constant. It doesn't take a second for it to start turning down. It basically pulls that top and bottom off that waveform instantly. And obviously, for years, we tried to get away from that. Everything we could to get rid of distortion. And then, a decade later, we're like, hey, I kind of like when there was a little bit of clipping here and the signal was louder. And nowadays, in the digital clean age, everybody wants some distortion to make it sound basically not vintage, but louder and more analog.
Right, analog is the word, yeah.
Analog clips.
Do you remember there was a point in the development of consoles where it became a big marketing tool to say that your mic pre's were transformerless?
Yes.
Remember that?
Oh, hell yeah. I was lucky enough that in 1970s, sometime, I was actually alive then, and I was in college, and one of my friends who's a bass player said, hey, I want to take you over to a friend of mine has a crazy recording studio in Baltimore. And here I am, 18, 19, and I'd never been in a professional studio. It was George Massenburg's studio. So he takes me over there to one of the world premier engineers and inventors, 1971, 72 maybe. Wow. I know, what a lucky break. Yeah, really. And that really, to this day, continues to inspire me. First time I ever saw LED, George had something with LED in it, because we were used to incandescent meters and backlights and stuff. So anyway, I was lucky again, one of those lucky fortune things that I got over there and met George Massenburg when I was 18 or 19, something like that.
So cool.
And he didn't remember me, of course. I remembered him. Yeah. But a couple years later, I had given him a call and asked him a question about something. And he's always been an inspiration and a friend, and really taken a lot of his advice over the years, and of course been inspired by his own inventions. But I forget where I was going with this.
That's anyway.
Right. Saturation. Transformers.
Yes. No, you're exactly right. So George, at that time, this is like I said, 70s. Everything had transformers in it, and everything saturated. That was the norm. So George was one of the first to say, I want to find out what transparent and total accuracy sounds like. But then all of a sudden, when records started going away, in the 80s, we started going to CDs and digital technology. People all of a sudden go, hey, I kind of like the way that old record sounded, with the scrunched up and
pretty
just
much right away
distortion.
People started saying that, didn't they?
Yeah, well, you always want the grass is always greener, as they say.
Exactly.
But so George, I remember being inspired by that, but also he was probably the first to have us transform a signal path, I would suspect. And, he's influenced a whole bunch of people with his recordings, obviously. But now they're over the clean thing. So
Yeah, now everyone wants a transformer again. Right?
Yeah, right. Or a digital equivalent of a transformer. Anytime you see a plug-in in it says drive, or it says saturation, or it says emphasis, that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about putting the distortion back in.
Totally.
Yeah. And either some people literally try to do the exact same thing as Transformer does. Other people just do the soft clipping, like tape was a soft clipper essentially.
Right. Yeah.
So
I remember purposely distorting, making the red light come on when I was recording kick drums to the tape machine.
Uh-huh.
Because you wanted it to come out in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And that did it immediately.
It did. It was your own form of homemade compression, right?
Yeah.
Just saturating tape a little bit. Oh, who was the producer engineer for Cars?
Oh, Roy Thomas Baker.
Roy Thomas, thank you.
Yeah.
He was a brilliant user of tape saturation.
He was a character. I worked with Roy Thomas Baker.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, boy, I bet that was fun.
Yeah, do tell.
Well, Roy Thomas Baker taught me how to lie.
All right.
In a good way?
For me.
Okay.
Because Roy was a character. He didn't want to know anything about anything of the recording process. He just was interested in the sound. So he made us build him like a little throne in front of the console. And I'm sure he'd be happy I'm telling this story. A little throne. We put a table and a big comfy chair on top of the table. And he would sit in front of it. We had to make him a special talkback, a remote talkback. Okay. And then he would just sit there, and do it again.
Yes.
Do it again. But
he was the king.
But I was doing punch-ins on this album that we were working on, and he says to me, "John, did you get that one?" Right? and I'm like, yeah, I got it, Roy. Are you sure you got that one? And I'm like, I got that one. All right, we'll move on.
That's good, man.
Because I knew by the time we got, we were quadrupling the vocals. By the time we got to the mixing, no one was going to hear the bad punching.
That one track.
And I just wanted to get out of the room at that point.
Yeah, those sessions. Right.
The singer for Journey.
Oh, Steve Perry?
Steve Perry said he would never work with Roy Thomas Baker again because part of his whole technique was he would just get you angry.
Oh.
So, we would be recording the vocals literally phrase by phrase, and then doubling them exactly. They had to be exactly doubled so that you couldn't tell that there was two voices there. So
it took forever.
It'd just be, do it again. Okay. They do it again. Do it again. And then they'd be like, Roy, what do you want me to do differently? Do it again.
The same.
Do it again.
It's good to be
and then you finally get so angry,
right,
that you're just like, that motherfucker, I'm going to do it the best, and you do this amazing performance. He's like, let's move on.
Yes.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, that one was good. Yeah, just let's
That's
move
a
on.
big part of the actually any creative process for a lot of people is you get to that point where you're either angry or frustrated or about to give up, and then there's the breakthrough.
Absolutely.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or you just walk out. Remember double?
Right.
When we used to work with ad people that drive us nuts, and we call them ad goons. And one engineer we had, he just kept, we called it frame fucking, frame this way, frame that way, frame this, do that. He walked out of his session, and the elevator door was open, and he just got in and left.
That was it.
And
bye-bye.
And then so we got a call like 15 minutes later, like, we're in the Studio B. We have no engineer. He didn't come back.
He said I'm going to go out and get a sound effect, and then he didn't come back.
Now we love our clients, right?
I love most of my clients.
Well, especially the clients that we haven't gotten yet that we're going to get through this podcast.
There you go.
John had a shirt that said "F the client," and then we got in trouble for that, and then we had to change it to "We're nice and we like you." Remember that?
Right. Yeah.
John, it's not appropriate. So
You didn't really have a shirt that said that, did you?
No, we talked about it. That's one of the things.
It was screw the client.
Oh, screw the client. Oh, really? I thought it was.
That's much better.
Yeah. Anyhow.
So to go back to the world famous Distressor, because I know that people are going to want to hear as much as possible about it. What year did it break? Did it come out?
It was 96. This is the 30th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
And then was it very well received right away, or did it take a little while for the word to spread?
In the broad scheme, it was quick, but at the time, it was still, a year or two before it caught on. But still, like I said earlier, I was so lucky that it got quickly adopted. And again, we started by making sure we could get the sound of existing devices. We didn't make it look like it. Obviously, we made them very different looking, but we wanted to be able to get the sound of certain audio compressors. So again, we were so lucky. We sent these out, and everybody liked it right off the bat. And I was like, "Oh wow!" I said, "That's different." Usually, nobody likes anything new, So I was blessed that way that it kind of took right off. And
like I said, I remember that the first time I ever saw it at the AES show. And the nuke, just the fact that it had the nuke setting, it was like, oh, I want one of those.
Well, I think the little tongue-in-cheek aspect appealed to everyone because people in audio have senses of humor, believe it or not.
Yeah, and nuke was continues to be kind of a tribute to my best friend at the time who died shortly after, John Patterson. And John came up with the name Nuke.
Very cool.
John worked with Phil Ramone for 6 or 7 years, and I just made a prototype Distressor, and John said, I'm going to use the Distressor on this session that Phil's demoing. Phil had a little studio in his guest house up in, I guess, northern New York, and he goes, can you make more severe something beyond 20 to 1? And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. And I said, probably. And he goes, yeah, because we want to crush this drum mic in this little room. So I came up with this new ratio, didn't have any name or anything. He calls me, bless his heart, and says, that was it. Thank you so much. Phil's loving the sound of his room now. And later when we were talking about it, I said, well, John, I said, 100 to 1, I could call it 100 to 1. I don't even know what it is, though. He goes, no. I said, well, what do I call it? He goes, Nuke. and that became the name of that ratio. And John forever changed my life in many ways. He also introduced me to my wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very important guy.
Yeah, he was recording Judy and brought her into my studio also, and I met her there, so.
Never had to leave the studio.
Right.
Yeah. Very. Been lucky in a lot of ways, eh?
Sounds like it. Yeah, sounds
really
good. Good for you.
So after the Distressor came the Arouser, another product that people love and use a lot. How did it develop out of the Distressor? Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Yeah,
again, we could have made something that looked exactly like the Distressor and had all the exact same features. That doesn't really appeal to me. If I'm going to emulate something, I'll maybe take the certain qualities of it, but also add more stuff. So that's what we did. And in addition, I have a wonderful relationship and a lot of friends at Universal Audio, UA, and we've been talking for years. They said, we'd love to do a plug-in of the Distressor. Mm-hmm. So the goal was let them do the Distressor feature by feature, and we'll do our take on it with a lot of different details, different ratios. We added a dedicated saturation knob, so you could just crank up. And I was very lucky. The developer that did the saturation did an amazing job, where you can really distort things without getting those alias tones. He did a couple tricks which were just beautiful.
So there's one last thing that we wanted to bring up about Empirical, because we all really admire it, and that's the aesthetics of it. Just the way the actual hardware, the knobs, etc., looks. and how it's so distinctive. And
when you walk into a studio,
you
and
know
there's-
right away. Yeah.
You're like, oh, there's the Distressor.
Yeah.
And they're in every studio too.
So yeah, we just want to compliment you on that.
Well, thank you. It's largely that big white knob.
Yep.
And it's funny because I was working in the studio, and a couple of my friends in bands I used to play with in the Delaware and Pennsylvania area had come up to record during the time when I was just really digging into final look of the Distressor. And I had a desk with like probably 20, 30 knobs on it. And I would show people, I said, what's with all the knobs? And I'm like, well, I'm trying to pick a knob for a product, And I would show people the big white knob. And at the time, a lot of people did not like that. I've never seen that on any product. Why would you use that big white ugly knob? It looks like something from a medical piece of equipment or something.
The machine that goes ping.
Yeah, exactly. But that became pretty much our look and our calling card.
It's branding.
It is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we didn't know it at the time. I just wanted a big knob, really, because all the old gear had those big knobs that were very friendly to grab. When we tried to trademark it, you go with the Library of Congress. They do trademarks and patents. And, the first girl I talked to, I said, yeah, we want to trademark a knob for an audio device. She goes, a knob? I go, yeah, because it's different look. And she goes, that's going to be very hard because there's how many knobs are out there? I go, well, millions. And so for the first few months, it was no. And I had a lawyer working on it too. And we had a NAMM show coming up. And I said, you know what? I have an idea. I said, let me go around this convention and hold up one of our knobs and ask people if they know what this is. And of course, every single person I went up to, oh, that's a Distressor knob. Oh, that's an Empirical Labs knob.
Yeah, there you go.
Very cool.
And yeah, that little short, it was actually 6 or 7 videos of people just going up to one person then another. They got the woman at the Library of Congress got down and says, oh, it actually is a different knob. And so we got our trademark, and it's been very useful because, especially in plugins, people started putting knobs just like ours on their plugins, which is could confuse the brand and make people think it was one of our products.
I love the knob.
Me too.
I even bought the hat from the merch page.
Did you?
Do we have a hat with a knob on it?
Yeah.
No.
Now you have to make one.
Sure.
No, you know what it should be? It should be like a Devo hat, but it's the knob. I see.
It's the knob. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's a great idea. Really?
Hey,
Seriously.
send 2 down here.
Okay, all right.
Our people will contact your people.
Yeah, my lawyer will get yours.
Yeah.
No, that's a great idea. I would love to do. And think about it, you could also, what was the name of those hats? Pork pie hats?
Pork pie
We had the
hats.
pork pie hats.
Yeah.
You could do one in white with a black ring on the top.
I love
There you go. Yeah.
You can only wear a pork pie hat if you're good at something, right?
Yeah,
Is that
right.
what they said?
Yeah.
If you're a good musician, that's the only time you're allowed to wear a pork pie hat.
Right, because otherwise you look like an asshole, right?
How do you think that pork pie name came by? I wonder what that had to do.
You know what?
Because it's shaped like a pork pie.
Is it?
Yes. See, I was raised by an Englishman, so I know what a pork pie looks like. In England, and all over the British Isles, people eat savory pies a lot.
We've had them.
Yeah. Oh, Thomas, I'm sure fed them to you.
Marmite too.
But yeah, they're like a little, very deep dish pie. And if you turn it upside down, it kind of looks like a hat.
Oh my gosh, fascinating. No, really, I always wondered that.
So Dave, before we say goodbye, regretfully, is there anything that you're working on right now that you want to plug, that you want to tell us about for Empirical Labs?
Sure.
Besides
first of all,
the hats, of course.
Yes. We're working on a new software and new hardware. We have a new version coming out of one of our products, totally different look. We have some software coming out, actually working in parallel with 2 pieces of software. And we're actually doing, without giving too much away, a guitar bass product.
Ooh.
So, yeah, we're actually very excited this year. It's been a bit delay for any major product coming out this year. Well, we're almost at the end of the year, aren't we? But
by the time this comes out, we'll be at the beginning of 2026.
Yes, and if you come to NAMM, which is in January,
right,
you'll see some of the new products in person. So,
Dave, how can people get in touch with you if they might have follow-up questions about what we talked about today?
We have tech support on our website.
Yeah, just call me.
I wish I could, but yeah, there's tech support that people will pass correspondence right on to me.
Excellent.
Okay.
Cool.
EmpiricalLabs.com.
Excellent. Well, Dave Derr of Empirical Labs, thank you so much. We really can't thank you enough for being so generous with your time and, making this a great episode.
Are you kidding? It's my honor, and I really enjoyed it.
Aww.
And our first guest, too, right?
Yeah, the very first. It's really, it's such an honor all around.
Well, now I'm going to go look up meat pies for pork pie hat.
And the MXR 01, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you guys very much for the opportunity and honor.
Thank you. And thank you all for listening to Parp Donk. This concludes episode 9 now, and next week we are going to talk about the biggest bowel movement, bar none.
Episode 10, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be the big finale.
It will be
of season 1.
The season 1 finale.
You know how on HBO when they
just like HBO.
2 more left, 1 more left. Well, we're at that point next week.
Signing off from Parp Donk Studios, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jim.
And I'm John.
And remember, our next episode's going to be a doozer. It's going to be the
biggest bowel movement bar none. Hey! And this is going to be Tom Clack's masterpiece. And we want you to be on board.
And we're going to dive into it and really
churn it
cut
up.
through it.
Churn up the good stuff next week.
Yes, please don't miss it. It's going to be really good.